Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz, your host of the Raiders Report, and it's Thursday. Appreciate all y'all for taking time out of your day to tune in and listen to what Jeremy Chugs and I have to say. I know it's the off season, but this is where I really get to find where my real ones are at, the people that are rocking with us even in the month of May. I'm stoked to watch a little NBA playoff basketball tonight. I don't know about y'all, but just because the off season is here, the NFL draft is in the back burner, you know what? I wanted to do something that we haven't done in such a long time. So for some of you OG Raiders Report watchers, we used to do these things called mailbags, where we literally just put together a show based off of all of the questions, all of the super chats that you guys ask us on today's live show. So here's the thing. The final segment that we do today is going to be a Raiders Report mailbag. So use hashtag Raiders Super Chat to already get those questions ready to go for that segment. We're going to do another segment around Bleacher Report predictions. They said that the Raiders are going to do some things with Ameer Abdullah, Luke Masterson, Tre Tucker. I'll talk to you about what their predictions are for those three players. And then I'm also going to be breaking down some Raiders rookie minicamp battles, just that I find intriguing. Some battles out there that with rookie minicamp being tomorrow, that's going to be something that we're going to be able to focus on. Also, today we're going to be doing a jersey raffle and a duck race. If you want to get in the duck race, it's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. If you want to get a chance in to get a jersey raffle, $5 super chat. Chugs is going to put those names in. Shout out to my man, John Scheffler. He threw in a $500 super chat Venmo last week and said, Mitch, I want to do a jersey giveaway. So if you want a shot to rock, I'm rocking a Jose Delgado. I got two other jerseys that I'm going to be wearing today. If you want to see your name here on the Raiders Report, $5 super chat for a chance to win. All right, here's your opportunity. Be the GM. Chugs and I are going to give some shout outs here. Will the Raiders cut Ameer Abdullah this offseason? Give me a yes, give me a no. Bleacher Report at least throws out the idea that there is a possibility. And when we first started doing this show on Facebook, it would be like ESPN said this, I'm going to give my opinion. Bleacher Report said this, I'm going to give my opinion. So this is one of those OG Raiders Report shows. Shit, I almost thought about wearing my silver suit, but it just doesn't fit me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's
like if I put you in a meeting.
That got phased out, I think, months before I got here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those things where, not that I had ever had somebody telling me you're starting to gain a little bit of weight or, all right, you're definitely putting on a few pounds. It was like that slow process of every time I would put on that jacket, I'm like, this is getting smaller. And then it got to a point where if I were reach up to fix my mic, I would cut off circulation in my arm.
Actually, a lot of people are asking to see the tat. Let me get my cam.
Oh, here. I'll show it to you.
Oh. Well, no, I think they're. Oh, yeah, that one too.
How about this?
Let me turn this around.
Okay. There you go. You can kind of see it. It's a little bit, I don't know. You see it? There you go.
There you go.
There you go. If you don't know what that is, then I don't know what to tell you. Oh, wait.
Yeah, there we go.
All righty. It's the flame. So we did a Raiders tattoo giveaway probably I don't even know at this point, 3, 4, 5 months ago. And the guy that we did the tattoo giveaway with, he's somebody that I work with a lot here in Dallas. And he was like, hey, so let's get you a free Raiders tattoo. What do you want? And to be honest, I didn't know exactly what I wanted. He kind of gave me this idea, and then we ran with it. And what I'm going to do next is on my calf, I'm going to put Allegiant Stadium. So it's going to be Oakland in the front, Las Vegas in the back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's as it should be.
I mean, and, there's going to be some people out there that are a little upset about Los Angeles, but I'm going to be real. I've never been to Los Angeles. I've never been to, a Raiders game in Los Angeles. And the fact that I've been able to go out and party in Vegas, I've been able to go out and tailgate in Oakland, go to a game in Oakland, which is why I was like, all right, I kind of like that idea. Oakland in the front, Vegas in the back.
Venom Sosa.
What's up? Will the Raiders cut Ameer Abdullah this offseason? Give me a yes. Give me a no. What do you think? What do you think?
I'm surprised they brought him back.
I'm surprised that they brought him back now that I look at the fact that they drafted a guy like Dylan Laube. Though they pronounced his name different yesterday. Champ Kelly spoke to the media yesterday and said it was like
Lobby?
Lobby. Or it wasn't like a hard E. It was like a...
Labe?
La Bay. Yes, actually, that's how they pronounced it. La Bay. Which I was like,
Blase, blase, labe, labe.
they pronounced it as Dylan Labe. That's actually how they said it. Now, that doesn't mean that that's right. It's just how Champ Kelly said it. And I'll try to do a better job of figuring out the exact pronunciation of it. However, though, if their plan is to bring him back and have him be a kick returner, because I do think the timeline is interesting because the Raiders ended up re-signing him, and then it was like a few days later, it was that brand new kick return rule.
Yeah.
So, like, I wonder if like that might have been the reason why. Like, I think Ameer Abdullah is going to have a bigger impact on special teams than he is going to be a player in terms of just like catching the football.
I think a guy like Ameer Abdullah, it's a low risk, medium reward, I guess. Like, because you bring him back and it's a really cheap 1-year deal.
Yep.
If anything, you have him at camp, a guy who knows your system, a guy who's like already been here, done that, knows the Raider way, and knows what Antonio Pierce kind of wants.
Sure.
And if you find somebody better, then snip, snap, easy.
Yeah, then it's easy to move on from. Though I will admit, I always thought of Ameer Abdullah as like a McDaniels guy, just because if it was third and long.
So, sorry to all my Cornhuskers out there. I know a lot of Cornhusker fans watch this, and they have a very special part of their heart for Ameer Abdullah.
Dude, I mean, Ameer Abdullah in college was unbelievable. He was a really fun and electric running back at the college level. Well, let's also talk about this. If you had to pick one to keep, because one of the segments that we're doing today, I focus on this question here, because with the Raiders, with their linebacker room, Divine Diablo, he's probably going to make the team. Robert Spillane, going to make the team. They drafted Tommy Eichenberg. He's going to make the team. Let's just say the Silver and Black decide that they're only going to keep 4 linebackers. And I anticipate that a lot of people are going to type 56 for Amari Burney. However, though, like, Burney was not drafted by this regime. 6th-round pick. You got Luke Masterson, who did start to fall off a little bit in terms of snaps as the season went on. But, like, we have seen him play more than either of those two guys. And then you got Darian Butler, where Butler played at Arizona State with Antonio Pierce, has a lot more of those coaches' connections that maybe if you're deciding to keep that final linebacker, that's going to be the guy that you're going to roll with. I'll tell you who I'm going to keep later on in today's show, which will probably be coming up here in about 30-ish minutes or so.
I think I'm seeing mostly 59s. I see 59s from Dan, Juan, Anthony. I also see it from, who else? That's a funny name.
What?
Ian, his first name Dixon.
Yeah.
Duval, Munchies, Patrick B, Manny Blazin, Ron Raspberry, all saying 59. And then I see a good amount of 56s as well. Husker Raider, David Funk, King Javier, Abby Barrios. Let's see, who else has?
I'm Not Bueno says 57, which I don't even know how that one's possible. That's
Who wears 57?
right now. I don't think anybody does. Off the top of my head, I don't think anybody does.
I'll take it. Sign me up.
Yeah?
Yep.
You'll rock it?
I'll be practice squad.
An honest question. Who wears 57? I actually think that the UDFA Drake Thomas wore it last season, but off the top of my head here, actually, it is taken by the very well-known T.J. Franklin.
Oh, duh.
The household name T.J.
Yeah.
Franklin, UDFA from
Daniel
Baylor.
Caps. Did you see this? Zay Jones visiting the Chiefs?
Visiting the Chiefs. Yeah, he has had a lot of visits. He's kind of bounced around a little bit. I want to say this is his like 3rd visit this week.
Yeah.
I mean, Zay's a fun player. I'd be curious to see if he'd be able to fit with the Raiders because of how good of a relationship he had with his organization. I mean, if there's a team that I could see signing Zay, I would say the Green Bay Packers, but that's solely because him and Bisaccia were like really close back in 2021.
Him and Papa Sach.
Him and Papa Bisaccia.
I think he's a Cowboy or a Chief.
So one of my friends who's very well connected to, let's say, people in Dallas said that one of the rumors is that Zay, when he came down here, wanted to meet up with Bisaccia, who lives down here in Dallas, and that was also to meet up with the Cowboys. So, like, yes, to meet the Cowboys, but there's still, like, that part of me that wonders if he could be a Packer. Like, there's still that part of me that wonders if he could be a Packer, just because of how close they were.
I mean, I could see it. The only thing with that is, like, on a, is it his best chance to make a team? You know, like
Sure. Yeah, I
the
don't know.
Packers have a lot of young receivers.
Is Zay Jones better than Michael Gallup? The fact that you're thinking about it, if I'm Zay Jones, I go, well, maybe I like that. Maybe I should go to the Raiders. Though we need more of a vertical threat. That's not Zay's game.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Remember, y'all, if you want a chance to get in, win some money today, 50-50 raffle. We're going to do this at the end of the show. $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Good luck. You got a shot to win some money. And if you send in a 5, you got a chance to win a Raiders Report jersey, which right now, the only person that's in is Cameron Sproul. Mitch, should we make a splash trade for a Dak or Trevor Lawrence or even Jordan Love? Well,
funny enough, a year ago, I would have said 100% Jordan Love, kind of with Mitch. I think Jordan Love is the least tradable person on this list now. I think he's the one that's more locked in with the Packers than Trevor Lawrence is with the Jags or Dak is with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if you were to ask me out of these 3 names, which quarterback do I think is the next one to get a $50 million deal, I'd probably say Jordan Love, though Trevor Lawrence will probably get one too, but I don't think that he deserves one. Like, based on what we have seen so far, Trevor Lawrence is...
I think they kick the can, kind of like the Cowboys did with Dak, as far down the road as they possibly can. They're taking his 5th-year option. They're going to possibly franchise tag him. Because I think they're just very on the fence. They keep on trying to add a ton of people, add a ton of guys to kind of just be like, what do we have?
I feel like that's all they've done with Dak, though. No, you're right, though. I think that if you got to figure out how confident you are in Lawrence's ability, maybe this is the year to do it.
I think they end up franchise tagging him whenever it comes down to it.
That could be a good one.
And I think from most likely to least likely to be traded, I think it's Dak, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love.
No, I'm with you. I mean, to me, I don't know if Dak's going to be a Cowboy next season. So out of all these names, the most likely one is Dak. And I'll always say this, and I know people hated me for it, and I'm going to keep bringing it up. 2 years ago, I was like, if I'm the Raiders, I try to trade for Jordan Love. I try to give up a 4th-round pick for him, and I was really high on Love when he was coming out of Utah State. And I get it. He looked really bad, but he's the proof of, sometimes you're just not ready to play right away. If you get that year to sometimes 2 to marinate, then you can turn out to be a pretty damn good quarterback.
I wonder if the Packers would have entertained that if the Raiders were like, we'll give you a 3rd for him.
3rd-round pick for Jordan Love? And that was, again, back in – I was hoping that could happen, I want to say 2022. Whatever the year was right before he started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been 2022.
Last year was his
first year starting. So, yeah, it was 2022. I said, let's go trade for Jordan Love. But, hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. What rookie minicamp battle are you looking forward to the most? So, think about all the rookies. You got 8 of them. Then you got the 17 players that we signed as UDFAs, 25 dudes going up against each other. Which battle, giggity.
Pause.
Yeah, that's the ultimate pause right there. Which battle are you looking forward to the most? Are you looking forward to the cornerback room? Are you looking forward to the wide receiver room? Maybe I was talking to Navman and I was talking to Ron Raspberry yesterday on our Zoom call, and I had to reschedule the Zoom call. I had to push it back a little bit. So anybody that was wondering, Mitch, what happened to the Zoom call? I didn't want to do it during my tattoo appointment. It just took a lot longer than what I thought. So all those people that were supposed to be on the call yesterday that didn't see that we rescheduled it, I'll just talk to you guys next week when we end up doing the call. Time still TBD because the schedule release is supposed to be next Wednesday. So, we'll kind of be up in the air about that one. Free Fly says quarterback. Here's the thing, though. I don't really think quarterback is going to be – is there going to be much competition going on during rookie minicamp for quarterback? I mean, it's Carter Bradley.
Yeah.
Like, maybe AOC and Gardner Minshew show up, but at the same time, I don't really think that that's going to be the players that our coaching staff are going to be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious
there's not much that even happens at these camps, but still.
The obvious one is cornerback.
Yeah, cornerback's the obvious one, which is what Husker's saying. Actually, Husker, I just got your other Raiders jersey today. Zahn, I got your long Zahn, and I also got a special jersey that David wanted me to make for Raider Ron. So they just came in today. I'm not rocking them today. I'll probably rock them tomorrow, but just wanted to throw that out there. All right, y'all, to the 356 people here that are watching, if you haven't already, make sure you click that like button coming up here on today's show.
And I think we've gotten a little bit more people as the time's gone on. Not a lot of hashtag Raiders questions. So We are doing our mailbag for the first time in probably a year.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Probably a year. We're doing our first time doing a Raiders Report mailbag. So if you want to get on, two ways. You can either super chat like Cameron Spro did, or use hashtag Raiders in the comment section, and I will be pulling the best questions for our mailbag later on at the end of today's show. But the only way to do it is you got to get those questions in.
Got to get them in. So we're gonna take the best questions. We're gonna put together a segment, and then you guys will see it a little bit later on in the week here, the Raiders Report. So if you like being a part of the Noti Gang, if you like the Real One shout-outs that we do, here's your actual opportunity to be a part of like an actual cut that we put out on the Raiders Report YouTube channel. All right, y'all, let's get into the first segment here, which I want to say that the first question is, or the first segment, what is it? Is it the Bleacher Report one? No, it's the minicamp battles. I think is whatever it is in the doc. All right, yeah. Minicamp battle. So tomorrow is rookie minicamp, which I'm super stoked for. Remember, the Raiders, they could have done 3 days. They elected to only do 2. And the reason why that I'm excited for this is like it's like finally the football is back kind of thing. We get the ball rolling. I was really hoping that we'd be able to sit up here and talk about the Raiders' new schedule today. That was kind of what the plan was, though unfortunately the NFL dropped the ball, and they're going to be releasing the schedule next Wednesday, which I don't know if we're going to be live for, because that's the one day of the week that we usually don't go live here on this YouTube channel. So it's just a little bit TBD. I don't know. It depends when we get the schedule. It depends. There's a lot of other logistics. All I'm saying is there's at least a chance that we go live on Wednesday. It's tough, though, just because like that's the one day of the week where Chugs and I we got to do a lot of other things. But we'll keep you guys up to date here. Don't worry about it. I'm for me, believe. Appreciate you tuning in. LaDark Swan, Ron, David, Caesar, Ron Raspberry. All love, all love. Coming up right now, let's get into these Raiders rookie minicamp battles to watch because it's going down tomorrow. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, we're going to be looking at some Raiders rookie minicamp battles. For those that do not know, Raiders rookie minicamp starts May 10th and 11th. The Silver and Black could have gone 3 days. They elected to go only 2 days. And I don't really think that it's anything to really pay a lot of attention to. It's just Antonio Pierce, Tom Telesco said, with what we're trying to accomplish, we're going to be able to do it in 2 days. And I'll try to do my best to keep you guys up to date on what happens with Raiders rookie minicamp. So make sure you guys give me a follow on IG and on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to go from the minicamp battles. I'm going to go to the one that I'm the least interested in and work my way down to the one I'm the most interested in. Let's look at safety here. And we're looking at strong safety. We're looking at free safety. And I was on my Zoom call on Wednesday, and I was talking to Navman, and Navman was like, yo, have you looked at Tre Taylor? Have you watched Tre Taylor a lot? And I've started to watch more and more tape on him, and it's kind of hard to believe that a 7th-round pick who won the Best Defensive Back of the Year award ended up falling as far as he did. Now, I will say this. The reason why I'm extremely intrigued by how he looks in the battle here, yeah, you also got Sanford, who's a UDFA. No disrespect to him. That's not where my concentration is going to be lying on. I say this because do the Raiders decide to keep 5 safeties? Because I think if you were to ask most Raider fans, they're going to be like, Tre Taylor's going to make the team. They drafted him in round 7. Cool. What about Chris Smith, who they drafted in round 5 last year? What about Isaiah Palomeo, who is definitely a fan favorite? Like, if the Raiders decide to keep only 4 safeties, which is a possibility, that means one of the guys that I just mentioned is no longer going to be in the mix. If Tre Taylor goes out there and he starts wowing people and really showing guys like, all right, we might be able to keep an extra offensive line. We might be able to keep an extra linebacker. Tre Taylor's got this shit on lock. This is what I'm really going to be watching for, because one of the guys that I can't wait to see in preseason is Taylor out of Air Force. Now, sometimes people always ask, Mitch, why should I subscribe to the Raiders Report? We got videos popping out here every single day. It's 365, 366 this year. 4 live shows a week right now. We got breaking news coverage, 100% free. We party like Oakland style, which, remember, Friday's happy hour. So if you haven't already seen our Friday show, make sure you tune in. And then once the schedule does finally get released, Jugs and I are going to start doing some more Madden simulations, which I know was a big hit last season. Let's go to number 4 here for my rookie minicamp battles to watch. The interior offensive line. the number one player that everyone's going to talk about is Jackson Powers-Johnson. However, if I'm going to talk about battles, there's no real battle that Jackson Powers-Johnson has. He's going to be a starter this upcoming season. I think we all anticipate that he's going to end up finding a place on the line, whether that be left guard, whether that be right guard. Hell, there's still some people out there that think that he might play center, despite Tom Telesco calling up Andre James on draft night saying, hey, you're going to be the center of this football team. But I'm excited to see what JPJ brings from, the fieriness, the tenacity. I want somebody, when he steps on that field, it's like somebody needs to remind him that it's May 10th. You know what I'm talking about? There's going to be some players out there, this is usually veterans, maybe not rookies, where the veteran's like, all right, bro, you need to ease up a little bit. This is practice. I think JPJ is the type of player, he's like, I don't care if it's May, I don't care if it's June, I don't care what day of the week it is, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to practice how I play. That mentality is that Max Crosby mentality, and that shit becomes contagious. I can't wait to see what Jackson Powers-Johnson ends up doing. So how about this? You guys tell me down below. It's going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. Which position will Jackson Powers-Johnson play this upcoming season? Do you think he's going to start at right guard? Do you think he's going to start at left guard? Or do you believe he's going to be the starting center? Get your answers in right now. My answer after this YouTube ad break. I've said it once. I've said it a few times. I believe that he could play either left guard or right guard. It might even just be more determining of what Dylan Parham wants to do or what the Silver and Black decide to do with right tackle. If it was up to me, I would put him as a left guard. I think that's just where he's better positioned. He has played multiple guard spots in college, but his versatility, his power, it's going to be a lot of fun watching him on Sundays. I do, though, want to look at this interior UDFA battle at offensive line where you got Clark Barrington, Will Putnam, who both are listed as centers, and you got Jake Johanning, who actually was a top 30 visit by Antonio Pierce and by Tom Telesco. The reason why this battle is very intriguing to me is because technically all three of these guys play center, though I don't think this Jake guy is that big. He's only 280 pounds to play center at the NFL. You got to be a lot bigger. What I do think that this matchup and these battles could end up being is, okay, we're going to keep one guy that we think could be a backup center. We're going to keep one guy that we think could be a backup guard for our practice squad. I do think one of these names will not make the Raiders practice squad, and for that reason, that's a battle to watch as far as I'm concerned. Coming up next here, we got the top 3 rookie minicamp battles to watch for the Las Vegas Raiders. Remember, it starts May 10th, May 11th, actual football activity. I don't know about you, I am flipping stoked. Also, we got some Raiders hats on sale. Chatsports.com/Raiders hats is the link that you need to go to. And somebody asked me the other day, Mitch, I need to find a good gift idea. What do you think is a good gift idea? Personally, getting a snapback hat is a gift that I like getting. I know Mother's Day is right around the corner. However, that doesn't necessarily, maybe mom wants a hat. The reason why I like getting hats, though, instead of T-shirts, shorts, you don't really have to ask for sizes. You know what I mean? It's more of a surprise. It's a good gift to have. I actually have this cream-colored hat, which I think looks really freaking dope. Also, there was a corduroy hat, which I just got, which I absolutely love. Chugs and I wish that we were cool enough to be able to rock this hat. Unable to do so. But with, all the different hats out there, the corduroy one, this one absolutely slaps. This one's a great one. The Salute to Service hats are on sale. And if anybody needs a brand new Raiders hat, go to chatsports.com/Raiders hats. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Jose Delgado just banged on this bad boy. For those of you watching live, if you're down to turn up, I'm kind of down. Let's go to number 3 here. It's offensive tackle. And we're going to be looking at the big guys on the outside. Colt Miller's obviously got the one side down. But, the biggest reason why offensive tackle here is making this list, it's because of the Raiders going out and drafting Delmar Glaze, offensive tackle from Maryland, who a lot of scouts believe could play potentially as an interior offensive lineman. And the sole reason of Delmar Glaze, and no disrespect to Coker, the UDFA out of TCU, but, this is where I'm concentrating. And you're not really going to get all the answers. You're not going to get all the information that you want right away at rookie minicamp. But, at least what I'm going to see is what happens if he walks out there on the field, the first position they put him at is guard. I mean, that's, eye-popping. That just tells me a lot of things of, all right, maybe that's why the Raiders went out and got Landrews Pete, and maybe that's going to be the guy that competes with Darren Munford. Or are we going to have a situation where you looking at Delmar Glaze goes out there and he's just at right tackle and right tackle only? Or do they put him over at left tackle? A lot of different ways where this thing could end up unfolding. So let me know down below who ends up starting at right tackle. Thayer Munford, Delmar Glaze, or Andres Pete? Who do you believe? Week 1, Raiders starting lineup. Zahn is a madman. Type TM for Munford, type DG for Glaze, type AP for Andres Pete. For me personally, I know this is a tough question because there's still so many unknown variables left. I am still going to say Thayer Munford because I need to see it from Delmar and for me to say that Delmar is better than Thayer, I need to see it. I know what Thayer Munford is, and yes, he needs some improvement. For Andres Pete, I actually think he was signed to be the backup left guard, backup left tackle in case we need a little bit more help for Colton Miller, who did have some injuries last season. Let's go to number 2 here on the list. It is wide receiver, and receiver is a position that last week, a lot of us were like, we need to add depth. We need to add depth. We got to figure it out. The Raiders, they go out, they sign Michael Gallup. You go out and you sign Jalen Guyton. Yes, you did draft on top of that Brock Bowers, but like a very intriguing battle for me, which is kind of like the interior offensive line battle that we were just talking about, is I would imagine one of these guys ends up making the practice squad, maybe 2 of them, though Tulu Griffin is my sneaky wide receiver candidate to make the 53-man roster. That's based off of if, let's say, they want to keep 6 receivers and he could be better than DJ Turner. Tulu also gives you a little bit of that special teams ability. So if, like, all these 3 guys are tied and Tulu gives you the most special teams ability, watch out for him to be a fun guy to just see if he can make the roster. But, like, again, spoiler alert here, the main reason why this is on here at number 2 is because I want to see where Brock Bowers lines up. Is he going to be somebody that gets predominantly used? Jesus, Zahn. It gets predominantly used as a slot receiver. Does he get used as an H-back? Is he used as a tight end? How are the plans of using him? What does that necessarily look like? And also, I just want to see Bowers on the field. Like, I can remember when Darren Waller was at the peak, and when Waller was out there, when he was like at his best mentally and physically, it was like people right away were reporting, this guy's a different human being. Do you remember when the Max Crosby reports came out where like, this guy, this 4th-round rookie out of Eastern Michigan looks way better than Arden Key? When those things come out, I pay a lot of attention to them because for it to come out and for it to be that obvious right away, I think that you're going to see that with a guy like Brock Bowers, who some people had as the best player in the NFL draft this past season. Let's now go to the honorable mentions, and I'm not talking about running back, quarterback, linebacker, or edge, and there were 4 names that I will be watching. They just weren't. The overall unit, let's say, wasn't strong enough to make my top 5 list. Dylan Laube is a running back that I like a lot. What is he going to end up doing? I think he's going to be battling with Ameer Abdullah. Carter Bradley is the only quarterback that we have, but, like, hey, can he beat out Anthony Brown to be our backup, 3rd-string quarterback? Tommy Eichenberg, what does he look like? Ron Stone over there at edge on top of that. If you guys are watching this live on the Raiders Report, all I'm saying is this. I think we're about to turn up today. What rookie minicamp battle are you looking forward to the most? Let me know down below. Some people are saying receiver. Some people are saying whatever David Zahn says. I'm saying cornerback is the rookie minicamp battle that I am looking forward to the most. And it's not really probably much of a surprise. I want to see what the Camryn Richardson looks like. I want to see what MJ Devonshire ends up looking like. Plus, on top of that, you added the highest paid Raiders UDFA signing in Jaquan Shepard. So, like, to me, all eyes are going to be on the cornerback room. And if the Raiders come out of this May 10th, May 11th, not really loving what they have in this corner room, could they potentially go out and sign a Stephon Gilmore, an Xavier Howard, a Steven Nelson, and a Dory Jackson, one of those type of players? But, like, I've started to watch more and more film on Richardson. This is going to be a fan favorite to me where he might struggle early on against, like, legit NFL QBs, legit NFL wide receivers. Spoiler alert, most rookies do, especially ones that are drafted in the 4th round. But one thing that he's never going to be afraid to do, tackle somebody. He's not afraid to put his nose on the football. He's not afraid to get physical, and those are the type of qualities that I want to see. Also a player, MJ Devonshire, a guy that's just loaded with athletic talent. His technique is not good. For where it needs to be at the NFL level, he would probably agree with that. Ed, oh my Lord. He would probably agree with that where you need to figure out a way to get more out of his technique because you can see the athletic ability. But then like the UDFA DB battles, like Jaquan Shepard, my eyes are going to be locked and loaded on him. Is he going to be near somebody like a Jacorian Bennett working next to him? Woo Governor, elite name. Is he an elite player? Rashad Williams, probably going to be one of the odd men out here. But like from top to bottom, how much of a difference maker is Jaquan compared to these two other guys, which is why defensive back, cornerback especially, is the number one position that I'm going to be looking at for Raiders rookie minicamp when it ends up going down on May 10th and May 11th here on the show. Now, if you haven't already, again, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on those notifications. Friday happy hour usually gets pretty out of hand. Sounds like Thursday happy hour is about to get pretty out of hand. Jose Delgado!
Bang!
And then, not one, not two, but three, David Zorn!
Bang!
But wait, Ed Robbins! Bang! You know what? Are you guys down to clown a little bit today? I'm not gonna lie. I've just been tired. I've been in a little bit of a funk, I feel like. We just got done moving. I don't know if you know that. And the NFL draft, there's been a lot going on. This kind of brought me back to life a little bit. So, Chugs, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go grab a boot. I'm going to do a boot here for my guy, Jose Delgado. Zon's here in the building. So, Zon, I don't want you to do anything else. Zon always does a lot around here. So, we're going to clown. We're going to get down. We're going to party. I'm going to knock back a boot. And every hundo from here on out, I will do a beer bong.
If we get 3 more bangs, can I race you?
Can you beat me, is basically what you're saying.
Yes, but only if we get 3 more bangs.
Only if you get 3 more? All right.
And Ed, I see your question. I'll go ahead and read it right now, but I will say, Ed, we're going to start off our mailbag with this. If you haven't already used hashtag Raiders, use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat your question because we have a mailbag coming out. David, I know you sent in 300s. You didn't have any questions, but if you put a hashtag Raiders, I'm going to get your question early on too, Mr. Zahn.
And if you just want us to put one of those bangs in there, shit, I'll just put one of those bangs in there.
Yeah.
Let me go grab that boot though real quick here, Chuggy Bull, and then I'll knock down that boot. I want to answer some questions, and I want to keep this thing going here for a little bit. Ed, legendary Zahn, you're a madman.
Let's see. Ed said, why do people think Trevor Lawrence is better than Minshew? Minshew has better stats in his first 3 years, and he had a worse team than Trevor Lawrence. You're not necessarily wrong. I still think Trevor Lawrence more talented. Minshew played good last year. I don't know. I mean, I think if you ask most teams, they'd still take Lawrence over Minshew, but is that only because of the pedigree of where he got drafted? We'll have to see. This is really not a make or break year for Trevor Lawrence, but maybe a come to Jesus moment where it's like, is he a legit top 10, top 12 quarterback in the league, or is he just an average starter in this league? We'll have to see. Andy, relax, buddy. I'm going to put you in timeout real quick. All right, yeah, that was weird. So with all the bangs, I guess I don't even know how to go to this next question that Mitch wanted me to ask. National Moscato Day. Pick your wine, white, red, or ew. If you drink wine, let me know. Are you white? Are you red wine? Or ew? Let me know down in the comment section. I don't love wine. I guess if I had to choose, I would go white wine. But I'm not a big wine guy. Not a big wine guy whatsoever. A lot of reds coming in from Steven. I saw it also from Justin, from Dixon, from G Money, from Navman, a couple whites from Daddy Duties, and Daddy Duty says whiskey. Pink from Devin. White from I Am Mark Coster. Moonshine from Chad. I Am Punchy says none. Yeah, I'm not a big wine guy. I know Mitch really likes wine. Mitch and Alex are wine connoisseurs. Not a big wine guy. Not a big huge drinker. I mean, I'm more of a. If I am drinking, it's usually either seltzer, beer. I do like tequila as well. Oh wow. Ah, yeah. Be careful with those Happy Dads. They're at a premium right now. I don't know if we have enough. Rosé. I was telling them I'm not a big wine guy myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of in that same boat. I don't think I appreciate it enough compared to like other people. Where like craft beer, I know exactly what I like. However, though, if Alex is like, "Will you have a glass of wine with me?" I'm gonna have a glass of wine, and I get more excited when it's white wine than red wine.
Definitely indica. That's if you're
really.
If you're trying to wind down, I usually don't drink whenever I wind down. I usually
like to meet Steve.
Yeah, I usually like to do.
I will say this. This is a different looking boot. So if anybody, we call these chode boots here at Chat Sports. Jose Delgado, this one's for you, my man.
Daniel,
what?
I'm gonna put you in timeout, but that's weird. Very weird. Here we go. Cameron Sprout. Oh. Glad you asked. We've been talking about it for the past couple days. Cameron wants to know. It'll pull up here in a sec.
Holy crap.
What was the best joke from the TB roast?
Oh, man. I don't know how many of these we can say. I mean, the one that I remember by heart was... I mean, are we allowed to say it? I guess we are. It was like, people always ask me how big, now, so Julian Edelman's up on stage. It was like, people always ask me how big Rob Gronkowski's you-know-what is. And, like, he's doing okay, or, like, he's doing fine. However, that other Patriots tight end, he was hung. And I was like, oh, shit. I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, if you haven't seen the roast of Tom Brady, you gotta. And I mean, you absolutely have to go watch it. I don't know why Wi-Fi Willie right now is spamming in our chat, but it's kind of weird.
I was going to say, it's definitely somebody who's, like, trying to troll because they've made, like, 3 accounts.
What's funny is, imagine making a fake account just to spam that word. You're like, I got nothing else better to do with my life. My life is this pathetic where I got to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
Sucks for you. My favorite joke from the roast... Oh.
Zon, did you watch it? Zon, I'm not going to lie. I feel like the type of comedy Zon enjoys is roast comedy.
My favorite joke
Zon,
was this.
you got to watch the roast Tom Brady.
My favorite joke was, I think it was Andrew Schultz who said it, and he said, don't worry if you missed anything. Bill Belichick, he has someone secretly recording this. Fun fact, Bill Belichick, the only person who's filmed more guys playing for the other team than P. Diddy.
Yeah. Dude.
That joke was incredible.
The problem is there are like hundreds of really good one-liner like jokes like that. I mean, it's like 3 hours long, and the entire time I am locked into it. You know what I mean? Like the entire time I'm enjoying it from top to bottom. No, but I'm gonna tonight. Zon, you gotta watch it. You absolutely positively have to watch it. When you
really
say
good.
Tonight, what does that mean? Like an hour from now? You go to bed early. You go to bed pretty early there, Mr. Zon.
All right, so we can get to mailbag, and maybe a little bit more fun. Oh my God, they made another one.
Also, Ryan Clark, which this is kind of interesting. Ryan Clark said that he spoke to Antonio Pierce, and Antonio Pierce denied that Terrion Arnold, there was no call and no coin flip from Antonio Pierce. So why is Terrion Arnold? Because then, now that's multiple people at the Raiders that said the coin flip thing. If you don't know the coin flip story, Terrion Arnold, cornerback, Alabama, said that he didn't say Antonio Pierce. He said, Raiders coach called me, told me it was a coin flip between him and Brock Bowers, and the coin flip landed on Bowers. Antonio Pierce, multiple now Raiders coaches, GMs, people in the front office have said, yeah, that's not true. That just never happened. It was always Brock Bowers. I think that's weird, no? Somebody's lying. Somebody in this situation is lying. It almost makes me happy that maybe Terrion wasn't the pick then. It's kind of weird for you just to start making up stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes me wonder if you're not happy in your current situation. Isn't that weird? No? I think it's kind of weird. Scheffler, I know. Sheffy, I know. Zahn knows too. I'm just busting. Also, remember, y'all, if you want a chance to get in to get a jersey, $5 super chat. And if you want a chance to get in for our Venmo race, $20 Venmo, that helps you win some money. I'll make you guys a deal. The next 2 people that send in a 20, I'm going to give you guys a free entry.
On Venmo.
On Venmo, correct. On Venmo. Next segment that we got rolling in here on the show is going to be some rumors from Bleacher Report.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should switch my jersey, though. And if you guys haven't seen, David Zahn went already kind of nuclear here on this show. Ed Robbins, which, Ed, I got to give you your flowers. I saw what you were doing on our Celtics stream the other day. Ed dropped a $201 super chat. And Nav, yeah, well, those two that was insane. Ed Robbins, Navman, you guys were doing insane stuff over there. Let me switch up my jersey here real quick, which I think it's going to be one that you guys like. And if you don't, well then, Martin's probably the only one where I'm like, I don't know if he likes it.
Really? Oh, yeah.
To my knowledge. Probably only Martin's the only one he's like, I don't get it. USA. What the heck's USA? I don't know. Also, I'm going to pour one up here real quick here for Zahn. And I know Friday happy hour is what we do, but when Zahn and Jose Delgado and Ed Robbins want to party, you know what? I'm kind of down to party a little bit. I needed a little bit of a wake-up call. Plus, we're going to be watching some basketball tonight, which I'm kind of down to have a few drinks before that. So if you guys are down to clown here a little bit, you know the deal. Or you know what we could do? We'll do 100 for a bang. If you want, yeah, we'll do 100 for a bang. It's Thursday.
Can we get some USAs flowing in the chat? USA. 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 USA.
Zahn, rules are rules. You're not wrong. Coming up next here on the show, we're going to get into some rumors here from Bleacher Report. And again, I was kind of excited to do this show because it was a little bit of a trip down memory lane, some of the old stuff that we used to do, and that's what we're going to be trying to bring to you guys in the offseason. Free content every day. We're going to try to keep it entertaining here on the Raiders Report. Chugs, you ready to go?
Ready to go.
You guys ready to get this one going? Coming up here, let's talk a little bit about what Bleacher Report thinks the Silver and Black could do. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz, your host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's show, I'm going to be reacting to an article released by Bleacher Report, which illustrated some cut and trade candidates for the Silver and Black. The player that they thought could be traded this offseason, Tre Tucker. The players that they thought could be released this offseason, Ameer Abdullah and Luke Masterson. So on today's show, I am going to talk to you all about the probability of the Raiders cutting Ameer and Masterson, and then also trading away Tre Tucker. If you're wondering more of the outlook on this article, this is how Bleacher Report started it. the Raiders can only carry 53 players on the active roster going into the season. The cut down to that number is still months away, but it's a good time to look at the roster and see who might be on the chopping block. Whether it's a player who has enough value to trade or someone who could be released based on the current roster and financial situation, here are 3 names to watch. Now, anytime that I make a video like this, I do this because when other places, ESPN, PFF, Bleacher Report, I don't care who it is, when they put out an article like this, a lot of people ask me about it. So then I started doing the show probably like 3 or 4 years ago, where I would take trending rumors and I would give my own spin on it, give my own take of what I think is the probability of each of these. So if you like this type of content, I promise you this, I'm going to give you videos every single day of this offseason, and if you bleed silver and black and if you want to join the fam, this is the channel for you. So here we go. Bleacher Report predicted that the Las Vegas Raiders, they cut Ameer Abdullah, and the way that I'm going to go is I'm going to tell you why Bleacher Report's cutting this player. Then I'm going to give you my opinion, and then I'm going to tell you what the likelihood of actually happening is. Now, again, these are all projections. This is a guessing game, but the reason why that I like doing this is because I like to think of myself as like the Raiders Sherlock Holmes, where you put together the smoke and how much fire is actually going on. We're going to talk about that. So here's what Bleacher Report had to say on cutting Ameer Abdullah. Ameer Abdullah played 21% of the offensive snaps last season while serving as a core special teamer. He was the team's kick returner and also got some work as the third down back. The 30-year-old could find stiff competition for the rule and 6th-round pick Dylan Laube. The New Hampshire back was one of the most versatile weapons in FCS last season. He had 749 rushing yards, 699 receiving yards, and averaged 31.1 yards per kick return. Laube is old for a running back prospect at 24 years old. That probably impacted his draft stock, but it also means that the Raiders could have enhanced confidence that he can get on the field right now. Abdullah is hitting the running back edge cliff and is a verse of Josh McDaniels' era. It wouldn't be surprising to see him outright released if Laube can come in and prove himself. So here's your opportunity. I want you to be the GM. I want you to be Telesco. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Will the Raiders cut Ameer Abdullah this offseason? Give me a yes. Give me a no. This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. For me personally, I would say that the Raiders cutting Ameer Abdullah is not likely, but it is a possibility. Like, the number that I would throw out there is that there is a 30% chance at the moment that I am making this video right now that he gets cut. Now, if Laube ends up going out there looking solid in practice and gives them the confidence that he can do it in special teams, because, again, you can do it at the college level. Can you be a good special teams player? The FCS is one thing. College football is another thing. Can you do it at the NFL level? If Laube gives them a lot of confidence in the kick returning, punt returning, and just shows that he can be a more reliable pass-catching back, then yes, there's absolutely a chance that Ameer Abdullah doesn't make this team. I mean, shit, they gave him $1.85 million. That's an easy contract to get out of. But, like, the more important role for Ameer to make this team is not so much at running back. Like, yes, he is listed at a running back, but the way that I view him is being more as a kick returner, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the Raiders decided to bring back Ameer Abdullah a few days before that new NFL rule broke about the kick returning rules. So to me, if Laube goes out there and balls out in special teams, that's where that percentage might go up a little bit higher here for Ameer Abdullah. Coming up next here, the chances that the Raiders cut Luke Masterson. And this has been a linebacker that we've talked about multiple times, UDFA from Wake Forest back in 2022, and has done it all against all odds and is not a superstar, but when you've needed him, he's at least done a halfway decent job. I'll tell you whether or not he's going to get cut this offseason, but before I do, I love me some prize picks. I love putting some money down, whether you're going to pick more, less on NBA games, and I'm going to do it again tonight. Like, there's nothing I find more enjoyable right now at this time of the year than every single night I go home after work, NBA playoff game. And I don't care that my team isn't playing. I don't care if you don't have your team playing. I know some of y'all are probably Lakers, Warriors, Kings fans like Graf. Here's the thing, though. All you got to do, super easy, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and make sure that you use code CLNS for that first-time deposit match of up to $100. But to me, I also still like to be able to put my money on the Raiders because that's what I know the best. And right now, you can go with your Prize Picks predictions. Bowers, 700.5 receiving yards. Less is what I believe he's going to have. But I do think he could have more than 5.5 receiving touchdowns for Brock Bowers. So the only season-long thing that you can use right now at Prize Picks is this. Now, if you're like, Mitch, no way, he's going to have more than 700. Put your money where your mouth is. Mitch, no way, he's going to have less than 5.5 receiving touchdowns. Put your money where your mouth is. I just wanted to show you what both of them were for Brock Bowers, for the Raiders. And if you want to get started, again, that link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description. prizepicks.com/CLNS. Just make sure that you use code CLNS for that first-time deposit match up to $100. prizepicks.com/CLNS. Pick more, pick less. It's really that simple. All right, let's talk here about Luke Masterson because Bleacher Report not only predicted the Raiders to cut Ameer Abdullah, but also to move on from Masterson, which is kind of wild. I mean, it's his third year in the NFL, and I still feel like when I talk about Masterson, I still talk about him as that UDFA player out of Wake Forest. Here's, though, why BR believes that the Silver and Black could move on from 59. By the end of the season, Masterson saw very few snaps. He played 22 snaps in Week 15, but 2 or fewer in every other game from Week 14 on. It isn't going to get any easier for Masterson to carve out a role. The Raiders used a 5th-round pick on Tommy Eichenberg, the Ohio State backer. Could push Masterson for 3rd linebacker. Telesco brought in Eichenberg, so he'll get every chance to carve out a role, even as a day 3 pick. Masterson, meanwhile, will need to prove that he has higher upside than Amari Burney and Darian Butler, who will also be competing for roster spots. So let's play a game here because this is what you have to do, especially in the offseason when you cut that roster down to 53. If you could keep only one, and the reason why that I'm saying only one is because what if the Raiders keep only 4 linebackers? You decide to keep Divine Diablo, Robert Spillane, Tommy Eichenberg, and now your roster is in a situation where you got to pick between one of these 3 players. Are you going to roll with Amari Burney? Are you going to go with Luke Masterson? Or are you going to go with Darian Butler? Let me know down below what you have to say. The person that I believe this organization is going to run with is number 56, Amari Burney. And the reason why that I say that is because you've heard Telesco talk a lot about it, and you've heard our coaching staff talk a lot about it, where you can't just do one thing to make it work in the NFL, especially when you're a bottom roster guy, which Masterson, Butler, and Burney are all bottom roster guys. However, who's the most athletic out of that bunch? It's Amari Burney to me. And yeah, Burney's not the coverage linebacker that probably Luke Masterson is. But again, what's the role that I'm looking for in my 4th linebacker, maybe my 5th linebacker? It's who can also play special teams. And the best athlete a lot of times is the better special teams player. So for that reason, I'm going to keep Amari Burney. However, probably the reason why you decided to click on this video was because, you hear cut Ameer Abdullah. You're like, all right, yeah, whatever. And then you hear cut Luke Masterson. All right, Mitch, whatever. Let's get to the real stuff here. But when I say, hey, Bleacher Report predicts the Raiders could trade away Tre Tucker, I already know this. If I put Tre Tucker trade in a YouTube video, the hate mail that Chugs and I are going to get, it's going to roll in all week. And this is the highlight of this show. And as soon as I saw that Bleacher Report thought that the Raiders could trade away Tucker, I was like, man, this is what I got to talk about today. So as it stands right now, I would say that there is a 10% chance that Tucker gets traded. It's not an impossible theory, and anybody that thinks that this is an impossible theory, you need to wake the hell up. I know the Raiders like his speed to stretch the field, and I know that they like his quickness for pre-snap motion, and he is going to get his opportunities in both of those things. I will say this, though. If Tucker cannot find a spot in special teams, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to find his footing on the field. And if I'm the Raiders, if I'm AP, if I'm Telesco, I'm also looking at value, which they probably look at Tre Tucker as a 3rd-round pick. Though, what if they didn't have him valued as a 3rd-round pick? Like here at Chat Sports, we had Tucker as a 5th-round prospect. So if I'm the Las Vegas Raiders and I got a brand new regime here, and I just went out and I signed Michael Gallup, I just went out and I signed Jalen Guyton, I drafted Brock Bowers, like, where exactly is Tucker going to fall in line of him getting the most targets? And if a team is willing to offer you a good draft pick for him, maybe the Raiders decide to go ahead and they do that. Here's what Bleacher Report had to say. Bowers is listed as a tight end, but he's simply an offensive weapon. Given offensive coordinator Luke Getsy's percentage for using 12 personnel, one running back, 2 tight ends, we can expect a lot of packages with both Michael Mayer and Bowers on the field at the same time. That diminishes the need for a true slot receiver. At 5'9", 185 pounds, Tucker is a pure slot receiver. However, Jakobi Meyers is also capable of operating on the inside, and Bowers is going to get a lot of run from the alignment as well. If there's a team that's willing to part with a decent draft pick to get Turner, the Raiders should be willing to listen. The question in that, though, is like, what is a decent draft pick? Because to me personally, I hear decent draft pick, and I ultimately think, like, I know, I'm coughing up here, coughing up a lung. I think of like 5th round pick, 4th round pick is like where I think decent draft pick falls in line. Though I just don't know if like that's what the Raiders are going to get for this current situation, because you have Devontae, you have Jakobi, and let's face it, both of those guys do play slot. The area that I think Bleacher Report is missing here is, sure, Tucker's going to be in the slot, but like he's not just the slot receiver. He's a deep guy. And he's somebody that I know the Raiders for a fact want to be able to use him in a different way. And he might not always end up with the ball in his hand, but he's going to make an impact on offense because teams have to be able to respect his speed. And that does have a lot of value. And he does provide a lot of value in special teams, which is what he did at Cincinnati. However, though, if the Raiders were to say, okay, we're going to take best available draft pick, what are some opportunities that we could have? I would say that these would be the teams most interested. The New England Patriots could use another slot receiver. Real talk, the team that I think picks up the phone and calls them right now with all the bullshit going on with Rashee Rice, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Cincinnati Bengals could be a team to keep in mind. The Vikings have a need. The Panthers have a need. The Arizona Cardinals all have a need. So let's play this game here, because some people are going to look at this trade and they're going to be like, holy shit, Mitch, I'm never trading away Tre Tucker for a 6th-round pick. But, like, you also have to think of it as, what if Tre Tucker, the team, the Raiders, aren't a big fan of Tucker? I don't really think that that's the case necessarily. But, like, I get it. The Raiders drafted him in round 3. Actions speak louder than words. You draft Brock Bowers. You have some of these other players that can, play slot. If a team offered you a 6th-round pick, would you take it? Like, honest question. Would you take this trade? Let me know down below. Type T for trade. Type P for pass. Are you saying, like, nah, it's got to be a 5th. Nah, it's got to be a 4th. Because I'll tell you this right now. There is not a single NFL team out there that is going to give up a 3rd-round pick for Tre Tucker. There's not a single NFL team out there that is going to give you a, I don't know if 5th round is the option. I would say this. If a team were to offer me a 6th-round pick, I would counter with them and say, can you give me a 5th? Like, I do think a 5th-round value for Tucker is fair. However, I do think that the Raiders have bigger plans for Tre. And not just, like, I don't want somebody to look at the stat sheet at the end of the year, and this is where the box score warriors are really going to thrive on Tre, where it's like Tre Tucker might not end the season with, I don't know, 600, 700 receiving yards. But what I do think could end up happening is he could end the year with, let's say, 400, 500 total yards of offense. But when he's out there on the field, you have to be able to respect that speed, and either he's going to catch a few deep balls or they're going to carry that safety over the top. And what I don't want to happen, which happened all the time last season, were the stacked boxes. Stacked boxes, 8 guys in the box, and your running back can't get anything going. Jakobi and Devontae couldn't get anything going because of the stacked boxes. Now you got a guy like Tucker. He does all this pre-snap motion. You send him deep for a few times. He might not catch the football, but what he's going to do is he's going to help you pick up yards, which I think Bleacher Report is kind of missing here in this entire article. So one more time here, out of everything that BR talked about, I would say 50% chance that they cut Masterson, 30% chance that they cut Ameer Abdullah, and a 10% chance that they trade Tre Tucker. If a team offers me a 4th-round pick in the 2025 draft for Tre, I'll definitely think about it, right? Like, I would take that value because I still do not know how Tucker is going to be able to fit into this offense, and I don't know how much of an impact he's going to have on special teams. If I woke up tomorrow and you told me Tre Tucker's our starting kick returner, punt returner, I think that also means that Ameer Abdullah probably gets cut. But, like, if that's the role that he's going to be used in, and if we're going to use him as a gadget player, a Swiss Army knife, which we've been looking for a long, long time, I want to hang on to Tre Tucker. I want to see what he can bring to this organization this upcoming season. If you haven't already, make sure you give me a follow on IG and on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. I got a Raiders tattoo, a brand new one. Check it out. It's on my social media. And if you haven't already, make sure you give my guy Chugs follow as well. If it wasn't for him, well, you guys wouldn't see anything up on screen. It would just be me standing here all day, every day. If you haven't already, tune into our live show on Thursday. David Zahn, Ed Robbins, and Jose Delgado want to get this thing turned up a little bit. So if you guys are ready to turn up, I'm ready to turn up as well here on the Raiders Report. Dude, I don't know what happened, and this is going to be the ultimate pause. I had a little bit of Happy Dad hit me in the back of the throat. Took my breath away. Yep, that's the ultimate pause. Which, great segment into Do You Like Butterscotch? Are you a butterscotch fan? I feel like it's a very controversial candy. Very controversial.
It's okay.
Oh, big luck. That's the ultimate pause. That's probably one of the biggest pauses I've ever had. Also, Charles G was the first one. He's getting 2 names. Charles G gets 2 names. Also, who was the other person that gets 2 names here in our duck race? It looks like Ronald, and then there is a Raspberry. So Ronald and Raspberry gets the extra name. I see Randall Carter in, and then a guy by the name of John Scheffler is also in. So as it stands right now, $20 Venmo, you'd have the opportunity to win $70 because Luis Rodriguez also in. So $20 Venmo to win $70. We're going to do that at the very, very end of today's show.
I did have a problem with the pulling of some of the Super Chats. So
okay.
David Vergara said, love the content. Shout out Mitch and Chugs. Shout out to all the active duty and fellow veterans out there. Raiders.
USA, baby.
Brandon Jasper just said the man, the myth, the legend, David Zahn.
Not Raider more.
And then Miggy Camacho said the roast was funny AF. Cheers, Mitch and Chugs in chat.
Dude, the Tom Brady roast was, and again, you have to you got to have a dark sense of humor. You got to be okay to the idea that it's comedy because you're going to hear some off-the-wall shit. You're going to hear some stuff where if you were to say it to somebody, not at a roast, you're like, that's pretty effed up, right? But I like roast because it's like, the only people that are doing the roasting, for the most part, there's some professionals in there, are your closest friends.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where it's different, where if I'm inviting you to my wedding, if I'm inviting you to just over to my house, real talk, if I'm inviting you over to my house, I want you to be able to lay into me, giggity, as much as possible because, that's the type of comedy, that's the type of humor that I have, and I've seen people on social media get upset about the roast of Tom Brady. Here's the thing, if you weren't invited to it, to me, you probably don't have much of a leg to stand on for getting upset about it. I mean, really. Even if some of the jokes were about you, because chances are, if there's jokes about you, you're probably responsible in some way. Like Giselle getting upset, which I get. 100% get it.
Also,
but
you're a multimillionaire and have an amazing life. So I think people making fun of you and your husband's divorce, I don't feel as bad about it.
I don't either. I really don't.
Trust me, there are people who have it much worse than you, Giselle. So,
facts. And, maybe if you would have taken karate a little bit more serious, we wouldn't be in this situation.
If you're telling me that I could be a multimillionaire, but people get to make fun of me, 100%. Sign me up yesterday.
You know what's crazy? You're not a multimillionaire, and people still do it.
Yes, exactly.
Shit.
Giselle could never do YouTube.
There's a lot of people that could never do YouTube. I think the only place worse, and now I'm not talking about y'all, right? Chugs and I, we love y'all. You guys rock with us. But you also know that there is a cesspool on YouTube, just like there is you can go down a dark hole on Twitter. I think the only place harder to do content on YouTube would probably be Reddit. Imagine if we went live on Reddit.
Oh my God.
That would be bad.
You're fat. You're fat. You're fat. You suck. You suck. You suck.
It was bad.
Downvote. Downvote. Downvote.
Rumble was really bad too. It was like all stars and stripes all the time. Like, it was not a good place, man. Rebel, I hear you.
All right, let's get through this last segment so we can maybe hang out a little bit, see what people want to do afterwards.
I got to switch up my jersey, though. Somebody said Discord and Twitch. I don't use them all that much, but yeah, you're probably right.
If we went live on Twitter, I feel like that would be. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not as bad. I think maybe just a ton of sex bots. Yeah, there are so many sex bots on Twitter, it's not even funny. I don't know who was like, you know what we need to do to Twitter? Sex bots. But mission accomplished for them.
I'm not even kidding you.
How many of your posts on Twitter have sex bots underneath?
50%. I was literally going to say the other day.
Good thing Alex doesn't use Twitter.
She has a Twitter, but yes, doesn't use it. The other day, I put out a video on Twitter, and I saw
replies. She's like, "Who the hell is this?"
And I saw there was like comments, 3 comments. It was a question. It was I don't remember exactly what post it was, so don't call me out on it. But a lot of times on Twitter, I'm like, I pose a question where it's like, for example, like who's the best signing out of Andres Pete, Michael Gallup, Jalen Guyton? And I had 3 comments on it. I'm like, all right, let's see what people say, and it was just nudes in bio, nudes in bio, nudes in bio. So I was like, oh, let's go check out the bio. Dude, it was, nobody wants to see that. Like, there's nobody that wants to see that. Like, there was a dark trail on Twitter, man, of just nothing but, you can't even believe it.
Oh, my God.
That's why I don't understand at times why people pay for it. But it is what it is. The things I have seen, man. Somebody the other day to me was like, do you realize our kids, our generation, has seen more nudity than our grandparents have their entire life? In 1 year, a kid, our kids, I'm talking kids here, have seen more nudity probably than our grandparents have their entire lives. Probably. Welcome to 2024. I hear you. What up, Texans? What up, Jesse? Shout out to Sancho here in the building. Manuel, you are in. Navman, you are also in. So as it stands right now, $20 Venmo, chance to win $90, and we're going to do a mailbag here. So I know Zahn wanted to get a little bit turned up today. If you guys want to get turned up today, or we could save it for tomorrow, it is what it is. Also remember, though, every $5 super chat that we get here on today's show.
I was going to say.
Might be an easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people right now in, and one of them's Zahn. 5 people in right now for a chance to win a Raiders Report jersey. Somebody said today and tomorrow. Well, hey, today and tomorrow might be a little bit dangerous. Aggressive. How dark is my humor? Oh. I mean, it's a good, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good one.
It's a good joke. It's a good joke.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I say that a lot to Alex, where she tries to get me to watch scary movies, and I'm a wuss when it comes to watching scary movies. I do not watch them. I don't find them funny. I don't find them entertaining. I'm like, why do I want to watch a movie where I'm watching it like this the entire time? I want the music as low as possible and somebody turn a light on. Like, that doesn't seem like an enjoyable movie experience to me. Anyway, anytime we watch a scary movie, I'm always like, don't fall in love with that character. He's dying really quick. Like, that's one of the first people going out, guaranteed. Every time, man.
All right, here we go. Mailbag coming up.
And here we go. Raider Nation, let's take a trip down memory lane. Let's do a Raiders Report mailbag. And I want you to know that all these questions that we have answered are from our live show May 9th. The way that you get on one of our mailbags is by using hashtag Raiders or super chatting when we go live. We go live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And if we hit 1,000 likes today, I'm going to do another mailbag next week. We started doing these shows a long, long time ago because I wanted to see the questions that the nation would ask me, and then we would turn them into a cut. So this YouTube channel was kind of built on this idea. So if you enjoyed today's show and we get to 1,000 likes on this video, we're going to do another mailbag next week. Let's go to Ed Roberts, who got this thing started off with a bang. Why do people think Trevor Lawrence is better than Gardner Minshew? Minshew has better stats in his first 3 years, and he had a worse team than Trevor. I think that people think that he's better, and I'll be honest, I do think that Trevor Lawrence is better than Gardner Minshew. I don't want you to always just look at stats. I think like a lot of times stats just kind of cloud people's judgment. I'll also say that Trevor Lawrence has battled probably more injuries than what Gardner has. On top of that, when Gardner has played his stats, it's a lot easier for a quarterback to have success in short stints than for longevity. And the reason why that I say that is because you get more tape, you get more defensive coordinators figure out your strengths and weaknesses a little bit more. There's just more evidence, concrete things that they can show their defense, say, hey, like this is how we slow this guy down. Where Gardner, yes, has also played essentially the exact same amount of games, but it's such different looks from different coaches, different teams, that I do think it's a little bit more difficult. But like, if I were to tell people, hey, the Las Vegas Raiders had Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, I think people would put us in that Super Bowl caliber conversation. Don't sleep on Gardner. He's not an elite quarterback. He's an average, below average starter. And with this defense, I think we can achieve some pretty damn good things. Let's go to Cameron. What up, Cam? Mitch, should we make a splash trade for Dak or Trevor Lawrence or even Jordan Love? Out of the 3 names that you mentioned here, actually the name that I think is the most likely to get traded or not on his team next season is Dak Prescott. Though the Raiders should have listened to me 2 years ago when I said we should go out and trade for Jordan Love. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber. Trevor Lawrence ain't going anywhere. Jordan Love ain't going anywhere. In fact, I think Trevor and Jordan Love both get $50 million contracts here pretty soon. Dak, whether you like it or not, it's the most realistic option. I like this question a lot, so I want to know from y'all. I want you to rank these quarterbacks right here. Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew, and Dak Prescott. I'll say this. If I had to rank these QBs, I would say at number 1, Dak. At number 2, Trevor Lawrence. At number 3 is Gardner Minshew. Let's go to Eric M. rolling in here on the show. Trizzy said that there is no way the Saints trade Lattimore. Is there another corner we can trade for? It's crazy because I asked the company, who's a trade candidate for all your teams? And Trace said Marshawn Lattimore. So I would say another player potentially is a Paulson Adebo is the name that he's thrown out there to me. James Bradbury is a name that I've said before. Trey Brown is a name that I've said before. Ambry Thomas from the 49ers is another name that I've thrown out there before. I actually did a video around 10 trade targets that the Raiders could do. I want to say that I did it last week. Go check it out. It's a lot of defensive guys, some offensive guys thrown in there as well, a linebacker. I make a lot of videos. But to me, just because I still think there's a chance that the Saints trade Marshawn Lattimore. Let's go to my man Ron Raspberry, who cuts his own hair. It's kind of a ballsy thing to cut your own hair. Though Ron did a pretty damn good job. Do you think we're going to sign a top corner or no? If I'm the Raiders and I know that there's no rush, and one of the interesting things, Stephon Gilmore talked to the media and was like, if I was 28 years old, I probably would have already signed already, but because I'm a little bit older, I want to make sure that I'm getting the perfect fit. If I'm AP and Telesco, I go, all right, let's look at how minicamp goes. If the Camry and Richardson, MJ Devonshire go out and they're like, all right, these guys are pretty effing good, maybe there's no need to go out and trade or sign one of these top guys. But, like, based on what I truly, truly believe in my heart of hearts, I still think that the Raiders go out and they sign a corner by the end of this offseason that is our true number 1 starting corner for this team. Let's go to Patrick Starr, or maybe Pinhead. Should the Raiders bring back Hunter Renfrow for cheap? Oh, the Hunter Renfrow stuff will never stop. My answer is no. And to me, for anybody that wants Hunter Renfrow back, for anybody that's like, can we please bring back 3rd and Renfrow? The Raiders said, I get you here. I'm going to take your Renfrow, and I'm going to raise you a glass of Brock Bowers. Like, everything that Hunter Renfrow is good at, Bowers does better, and he's cheaper. He's younger. He's healthier. He's stronger. Like, you have your starting slot guy in Brock Bowers, and I get it. Renfrow was a man, like there's not a single Raider fan alive that doesn't root for Renfrow. It's not a fan of Hunter. But I think also you got to be able to peel back that, beer goggles a little bit and say, over the past few seasons, Renfrow hasn't been a good receiver, even when he has been healthy. So even if you were to tell me we could get Hunter Renfrow on a deal like we got Michael Gallup, I'm good where we're at. I wish the best for Hunter. I hope that he has a long, successful NFL career. I just don't think it makes any sense for the Raiders to bring him in. If you want wall-to-wall coverage all year long, hit that subscribe button. If you're looking for honest Raiders content, I'm your guy. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. There's going to be some people that would probably say, yes, let's go get Hunter Renfrow. Let's bring him back on the team. Let's recreate it. Not going to be that guy. I want people to talk to me like an adult, and I want people to tell me the truth. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Whether you like that information or whether you don't, I just hope that we're able to have an adult conversation and actually be able to sit down and talk about it like a family member. Just because we disagree doesn't mean we have to fight. We can disagree, but let's talk like adults. That's what we do here on the Raiders Report, and that's why I want you to subscribe. I also got to give a shout-out to the Noti gang. I got Truman, Ron, Matt, Nick McBride, and then Raiders Sancho. Thank you guys so much for not only hitting that subscribe button, but taking pride in being one of the first people to comment on our videos. It does help us out a lot, and it's the way that we can continue to make this thing keep on rocking and rolling here on the Raiders Report. Let's go to my man Juice89. Dylan Laube, RB1, Tre Tucker ain't getting traded. He's a field stretcher. Cut Turner, McAllister, and Wilkerson. I agree with you that these players all down here are going to get cut. And all I want people to do that are part of the nation is I want you to do your own 53-man roster, okay? I want you to go through the entire Raiders roster, and I want you to pick out who makes the team and who gets cut. Because, quite frankly, when you're talking about Tucker and Laube, like, these guys aren't even in that conversation. To me, if you're going to even consider moving on from some of those players, and there's going to be a lot, like, I'm talking Amari Burney, Chris Smith. We're looking at dudes that this organization has had, and that I think a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to make the roster no matter what. But you can only keep 53. Tough decisions, tough cuts happen every single offseason. Let's go to CR1ZZ. Xavier to the Raiders post June 1st. If I'm Stephon Gilmore, if I'm Xavier Howard, Steven Nelson, honestly, if I'm a top free agent and I know in my heart of hearts that I can still play at a high level and I'm trying to make the most money possible, the team that I'm waiting on, especially at corner, is the Raiders post June 1st because they're going to get that $24.07 million. And those free agents are going to know, well, didn't you just get a boatload of money? You can pay me, right? I'm telling you right now, if the Raiders make a splash at corner, I really, truly believe it's going to happen after June 1st. I like the question, though. I also love these flipping hats. I have recently just got a corduroy Raiders hat, and it's probably one of the only hats that Alex allows me to wear, like when we go out for a nicer date night, because most of the time when I wear a hat, I'm not going to lie to y'all, it's when I don't feel like doing my hair. I just feel like, going out, getting ready as quick as possible. But some of these new Raiders hats that I've gotten, like this one I just got, I can wear this out, and it pairs well with some nice pants, pairs well with a nice shirt. You go out there a little stylish, you're looking pretty good. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders hats. We have hats of all shapes, sizes, snapbacks, fitted, the trucker hat style. There's even some beanies in there if it's still cold for some of y'all out there, even though it's May 9th when I'm making this video. Also, we got the Raiders draft hats. I will tell you this, though. These are going quick, and they might not have the size that you're looking for just because of how many hats have gone for the draft. But I'll also say, like, I'm a big snapback guy, where if I'm going to get, like, a gift for somebody, you get somebody a snapback, you don't have to guess the size. Where if you're shopping for me and you got to get me a T-shirt, you're going to be like, hey, what's your T-shirt size? Shoes, pants, all of it, all sizes. With a hat, if you're looking for a fun gift idea, easy gift idea, you don't have to ask the size, get them a hat. Especially a diehard Raider fan out there. Chatsports.com/Raiders hats. Let's go to Stephanie Bowen. What up, Steph? What do you think the win-loss record will be for the season? Do you think that we can make the playoffs with Minshew as a starting quarterback? Yes, I do think the Raiders can make the playoffs as a starting quarterback. And with Gardner Minshew, I'm aiming at 9 to 10 wins. If this team was able to win 8 games last season with McDoofus, with the worst quarterback play in the NFL, like, there's no way the Raiders quarterback play is going to be worse, right? It better not be, right? That's going to result in, let's say, the exact same amount of wins. Defense should be better this season, right? You have Christian Wilkins, second year with this Antonio Pierce, another year with Patrick Graham. Should be better, right? I just believe in my heart of hearts, change a quarterback, change a head coach, that should lead to an improvement. And I think a lot of people out there are sleeping on the Raiders because we don't have that quarterback. But you know what? We can win 9-10 games this season, absolutely, and put ourselves in the hunt. Let's go to my man, Team Money. Mitch, should the Raiders sign the WWE and Olympic gold medalist? Chugs, what was his name again? Because you and I were talking about him earlier.
Gable Stevenson.
Gable Stevenson. All right, so for those that don't know, he wrestled at Minnesota, was an Olympic gold winner. In college, I want to say he was like 67-2.
Yeah, he's 23,
okay.
6'1", 265 pounds.
Not bad.
67-2 in college. 40-6 in senior matches. I don't know what that is. Does that mean you beat up old people?
No, it's just you're like going up against only seniors because sometimes like you're going up against freshmen, some of the younger guys. But here's what he looks like. So shout out to Chugs for finding this one on the real quick. And the other day, I'm wondering if you're saying this because the other day I was like, I'm a sucker for a good offensive lineman that also wrestles. The problem is at 6'1", 265 pounds, the only position he can play is defensive end. And I don't know if he's athletic enough to be a defensive end in the NFL. Like, being a wrestler, great. Being a WWE guy, great. If you told me right now he goes out and he adds 40 pounds and it's good weight, then I will be more interested. And I saw a report that was like multiple NFL teams have called, what was it? What was the name?
Gable Stevenson.
Gable Stevenson asking if he'd be interested. Unless he's putting on weight to play offensive line, I just don't see another position that he could play at the NFL level. Let's go to, wow. Get Stephon Gilmore. I'm not going to lie. Going from that picture, hell, I might be even more inclined to sign Dixon Sider than this Gables guy. In fact, if anything, if y'all want to see a Jello wrestling match, that's the Jello wrestling match that we need. An Olympic gold medalist and then Dixon over here. That would be something to watch. I'm not gonna lie, that caught me off guard. Agent, how many primetime games do we get this year? I'm gonna guess 5, and that's just the Raiders have a beautiful stadium in Allegiant Stadium. You have your first-year head coach. The quarterback play is going to limit you a little bit, but they do have some star power in Max and Devontae Adams. And a lot of times it comes down to who you play. They play a lot of very good teams this season. You're also going up against Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to say 5 primetime games this season for the Silver and Black. Now, man, Trey Diggs, no way. I think Diggs is going to stay where he's at. And if I'm going to trade, like, the problem is I'm not trading for a corner unless it's somebody of the level of Marshawn Lattimore. And this might be a hot take to some people. I think Trey Diggs is one of the most overrated corners in the NFL. Yes, he gets a lot of interceptions, but he also gets burnt a lot. Coming off a season where he didn't play because he's coming off a major injury. If I'm the Raiders, why am I going to trade a... Honestly, if you're going to trade this for the Cowboys, they're probably looking for a first-round pick when I can just go out and sign a Stephon Gilmore and Xavier Howard, pay him much cheaper, and not have to give up any draft capital. Let's go to Electric Eric. Will Rashee Rice play this season? I'll tell you this right now. I don't know who's close to Rashee Rice, but you got to tell him to get the hell out of Dallas. And Chugs and I have lived in Dallas for a long time. What's sad is you got a guy who's made millions of dollars who right now is just not around the right people. If you don't know, he got into another situation this week. On Monday, I believe it was reported that he got into like a fight or something. Got into a bar fight.
He actually got into a fight at a bar that is two streets away from where we are right now.
Correct. So there was that whole thing that happened, him on Interstate 75. He was driving fast and reckless, and then he ended up leaving that situation. And then 2 weeks later, like after that, a smart human being would go, you know what? I'm going to stay out of trouble. He's just finding himself in bad situations. And if I'm a team like Kansas City, you said this the other day, if I'm Kansas City, I go, hey, here's what you're going to do. You're either going to come back here to Kansas City, lock yourself in a room for 3 months, or we're going to cut you. Because, don't get me wrong, Rashee Rice is a good receiver. But if I'm Patrick Mahomes, if I'm Andy Reid, I go, guess what? You're not Rashee Rice because you're Rashee Rice. I made you Rashee Rice. Like, you put him on any other team, he's not what he is. And if you're Mahomes, I go, give me somebody that gets a lot less baggage. Give me somebody that I don't got to worry about. I don't want to have to deal with that type of stuff. I'll be real with you. I think there is a legitimate chance that he does not play for at least half the season. I think there is a legit chance that he doesn't play half the season. Will Rashee Rice, though, play this season for the Chiefs? Give me a yes. Give me a no. Will Rashee Rice play this season? It's supposed to be for the Chiefs. I still think that he ends up playing, but he is absolutely positively getting suspended. The NFL has suspended players for way less. He is now in a 2-week span, maybe it's 3 weeks, gotten in a lot of trouble. It's not looking good for Rashee Rice, but also FKC. Serge, what are your thoughts on potentially opening the season in Kansas City? The Raider fan in me would be okay with it. I think it's a good competition. Like, why not see what we're going up against right away? It's the last team that beat Kansas City. The only reason why I'm going to say I do not want it to happen is nothing football related, but I am in a wedding it's that Friday. I'm a groomsman in a wedding, and if the Raiders and Chiefs play on Thursday, I'm going to miss a lot of the wedding festivities for one of my best friends. So, not football related, but I do not want the Raiders to play on opening night against Kansas City. Sean, if Aiden O'Connell gets better with pocket awareness and minimal scrambling, do you think he could have potential? Potential. I guess what's the question for potential? Like, do I think Aiden O'Connell can be a low-end starting quarterback in the NFL? Yes. Do I think AOC is ever going to be a top 16 QB in the NFL? No. Like, I guess it's what is potential now, because there's a lot of people out there that think that Aiden already is a top 32 quarterback. I hate to break it to you. There's nobody that's not a Raider fan thinks that Aiden O'Connell's a top 32 quarterback. So do I think he has potential to be like talked about the way that we talk about Gardner Minshew? Yeah, like I do. He's going to get more reps. He's going to get more opportunity, and he's going to end up being, if he keeps on getting more playing time in the National Football League, he could absolutely turn into a guy that we talk about like a Gardner Minshew. I mean, I've said before, he reminds me of Brian Hoyer. Not the Brian Hoyer that the Raiders had, but the Brian Hoyer of what he was for a 15-year NFL pro, where nobody wanted to start Brian Hoyer. But if you needed to start a QB, you would throw him out there. And he had a long, successful NFL career being a backup because he's smart and he's good enough to get it done. But like, no, I mean, if you're hoping that you can find, if Ada could turn into a top 25 quarterback by the end of the season, I would say that is a really good job by AOC and this coaching staff. Now, remember, if I didn't get to your question, you can always hit me up on Instagram or on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. I know we do a lot of these type of shows when we go live. I know that not everybody can get those questions in, but remember, if Chugs or I miss your question, please do not hesitate. DM me on social media at Mitchell Renz 365. All right, we got one more question flown in here. Evil Mitch, which quarterback would you draft in the next class? Rank them. This is such a tough question, just because so much stuff can change. I would say the top quarterbacks are like Shador. Carson Beck's going to be a name that gets thrown out there a lot. I love me some Cam Ward. I want to see what he looks like down in the U. I'll also say this, though. I have been a bigger fan of Shador Sanders over the past week and a half. The shit he's been saying. I don't want a quarterback that is so full of himself and thinks that his shit doesn't stink and thinks that he walks on water, because if you haven't seen some of the interviews Shador has been doing, I think they are very, very worrisome traits for if you want a team leader. I want a guy that puts team before me, right? Like Max Crosby is a dog because he puts Raiders above everything else. Don't get me wrong. He's out there working. He's grinding. He's making guys better. What I don't want is a QB like Shador Sanders who thinks that he's better than the Raiders. And hearing the way that he's been talking, I think if he were to be drafted by the Raiders, he's like, I come before the Raiders. And I don't want that. So until the season starts, it is way too early to even answer this question. But I like the shtick there, Evil Mitch. Well appreciated. Crash Dog, what's up, fam? Did I miss anything? Crash Dog, we're partying today. Zalm wanted to get it going. We had Jose Delgado wanted to get it going. Ed Robbins wanted to get it going. It's, for me, Sanders full of himself. I agree. Like, I was a lot more excited about Shedeur, and now Shedeur scares me. He does.
Well, and it's like the whole thing with LaMelo Ball and the
Show
Ball
me
family.
some maturity.
Well, not even that. It's like you're not only drafting Shedeur Sanders, you're also drafting Deion Sanders, in a sense.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this right now. If the Raiders, and this is the other thing, where the Raiders are building a team, let's be honest, we're probably not going to be in the situation to draft Shedeur. Right? Where we're probably going to be a team, the way that we're building, we're going to be a team that tries to sign a free agent quarterback or go out and trade for somebody. That's just facts. But with a guy like Shedeur, if he were to have a one bad year, and I mean this, I mean one bad year.
Big boss.
What?
I don't know how you are saying how.
I mean,
Full of himself, he literally goes to opposing fans with a watch that's like $15,000, $20,000 and is going like this to the other side line and saying, I'm richer than you are. If that's not being full of yourself, I don't know what is.
Big boss, he's a QB, and I know he's a QB. However, though, I just want you to watch some of his recent interviews and hear what he says, because to me, it's somebody that has, it's not even just like full of himself. It is somebody that's got like a, maybe actually like a narcissistic problem. And don't get me wrong, I get like college quarterback, but here's the thing. Would we be talking about a QB of his skill set on a college football team that went 4-8 if his last name wasn't Sanders? Like, the answer is no.
We're talking about a guy whose team went 4-8 last year. 4-8.
Big boss, he's a kid, and I know he's a kid, but I also don't want somebody that acts like a kid.
But do you want a child being the quarterback of the Raiders?
No, I want somebody that's mature. And if you're going to be in Las Vegas, you're going to get all millions of dollars. I mean, I don't care who it is. I want somebody that can be a leader of men. And if you're going to be, quite frankly, if you're over the age of 18, if you can go serve our country, then you got to act like an adult to me. And that's just the way that it is. We all do childish things, but like,
Big boss, also, it's not his fault that they went 4-8. I mean, he's the quarterback. You put that on him. I mean, I'm sorry, like, him and his team and their performance throughout the year, like, I don't see how you can't say, 4-8 isn't somewhat of a reflection of him and his leadership.
I'm trying to find because there was an interview that I just watched, and it was shocking to me. And like a lot of the Vegas like odds, they had Shedeur a lot higher, and now he has just started to just tumble down because of some of the comments that he has made. I mean, again, comments are one thing. If he goes out there and if he's the best QB that we've seen in a long time, comments aren't really going to matter all that much. But like, I got to find the exact comments. I want to get them exactly right, and I'll do my best to find it. It's just they're not good, dude. They're not good. It's a fact.
He is somebody that I promise you 100%. If he plays for the Raiders, they lose a game, no way is he going on that podium and taking any accountability. He is throwing whoever he can under the bus as soon as possible. I don't think so. And is that who you want as your quarterback, the leader of your team, somebody who's calling out former players and saying, like, you were a scrub? Like, come on, dude.
No, I'm also worried that if it didn't go well in year one, that Deion's like, we're leaving. You know, like where I want an adult to make their own decisions. I don't want Deion to say, all right, we're going to go somewhere else. Like, you're an adult. Act like an adult. Are you going to come out to Costa Mesa and hang with us in SoCal during training camp? It's probably a no if I had to guess. Now, maybe if Chugs and I like get invited out there, like we can do it. The problem is we got to convince our bosses that it financially makes sense to send Chugs and I out there. And I'll tell you this right now. If you guys wanted to do a show like a Raiders Friday happy hour, right? Like if we said, hey, tomorrow's Friday happy hour, I asked my bosses, how much do we have to get to send Chugs and I out there for one day for training camp? 2 days for training camp. They'll give us a number, and if we hit it on this show, then we can go out there. And this is the full transparency of Chugs and I don't keep any of the super chat money that we get. We use it back into Chat Sports, invest in getting us a big studio, which we've been really, really trying to do. But, if I just go up to my boss and say, hey, we want to go out to training camp, they're going to say no. You know what I mean? So if you guys are down to do a show like that where all the money that we make goes right to Chugs and I going out to training camp, then it's a possibility. But in terms of just sending this out there, I don't think that that's really a possibility. I also see some people here that are in our duck race. Timmy Jones is in, and then L.A. in.
And you know what? We said at the beginning of the show $5 to get in on the jersey raffle.
I'm listening.
Zahn went absolutely nuts on today's show.
Okay.
I'm going to do it I'm going to put all the names in right now.
Okay.
For the next 3 minutes until I get the race set up, any super chat will get you in the race.
All right, I like it. Evil Mitch, AP would humble him. Shador would love him. I have confidence in AP. Believe me in that. And I think AP would humble him a little bit. And I think it's a young man that, quite frankly, needs some humbling. But, I also think at the end of the day, Shador might be the person that says, yeah, you're the coach. Do you think – let me ask you this. Do you think Shador Sanders is listening to Dion or AP? If AP says you need to do this, okay? I don't know what this is, but AP says you need to do this. Dion says, no, I want you to do this. What do you think he's doing? Honest question. If you think he's listening to AP, type AP. If you think Shador is going to listen to Dion, I want you to type D for Dion because I think he's listening to Dad. And even if it goes against what AP says. Those type of characteristics and traits, especially at the quarterback position, scare the hell out of me. They scare the hell out of me, man. Big Boss Raider, Dion is not going to do that. You have more confidence in Dion than I do then. Because if there's one thing Dion does, it's he puts himself in the limelight. He puts himself in the center of attention. And I don't think that that's going to change. I really don't. And if he doesn't do that, yeah, that's fine.
I mean,
all good.
Name me one instance that would show you to prove to you that he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, he said he's not the quarterback coach in Colorado. He's the head coach, though.
Yeah, that's above that.
I don't really know.
That's like me being like, well, he's not the shift manager. Yeah, well, he's the general manager. I think that supersedes everything.
Facts. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying that it's not good. If the Raiders were to get Shador, I'm not sitting up here saying it's not good. I'm simply saying that if you were to ask me before the draft happened, would I be okay with the Raiders getting Shador Sanders, my answer would have been yes. Now I am simply saying, based off of what I have just seen and heard in the last 3 to 4 weeks, I need a mature leader. I need a leader of men. I mean, that's never been a secret to anybody that watches the show. What I've seen from Shador, I've lost a lot of confidence in his ability in order to do that. That's just my take. No, a little late for the show today, but what's good sending love for all the hard working y'all do for our Raider fans that have normal, busy lives. I mean, I think one of the cool parts about this show is even if you can't comment, even if you can't super chat, sometimes it's okay to just throw the AirPods in, throw your headset on, and just listen and have a good time. Because believe me when I tell you this, I get it too, man. The other night I was moving, and I was listening to Graf and just listening to his show for 2 hours. Helped me do my thing. And I get it. It's all good. Ed, give me the George QB. Georgia. See, again, I need to see more from Carson. I need to see more from Carson Beck where I want to see him legitimately run an offense because my Carson Beck worry right now, and I have not watched a lot of tape on him. I'm not going to even act like I have, right? The amount of tape that I've watched on Jaden Daniels compared to Carson Beck, it's just so far down, even Shador compared to Carson. But my fear will be when I turn on the tape, do I see things that I saw in J.J. McCarthy where guy can get it done in college? But is he the reason they're winning games? I don't know. I want to see the footwork, how he handles pocket pressure, because most of the time, basically 99% of the time, the team that goes out there on the field with Carson Beck is the superior team. What happens when he's not the superior team? Because that's going to happen a lot more than often in the NFL. KM, you in. And then Heather, can I get a Raiders? Heather, you absolutely can get a Raiders. Randall Carter, you in.
Oh, here we go.
And here we go. All right, so the first race is going to be for a Raiders Report jersey. I'm rocking the Sancho right now. For those that do not know, I'm rocking the Sancho right now.
Last chance.
Last chance for you.
$1 super chat gets you in. We have 14 racers right now. I'm going to put 35 seconds on the clock. 40 seconds on the clock.
Dude, I got to give some love here to Anthony Green. He wants 3 spots in this duck race. Anthony Green is in. Also, Zach Martin, I see you sent me 10.
All right.
Zach, if you want in, it's a $20 race.
30 seconds.
So I need another 10 if you want in.
Last
Zach.
chance to get in. Raider Sancho, you in.
Right now, winner would win $140 for our Venmo race. The race that you're seeing right now up here on screen, though, this is for the Raiders Report jersey.
Luis is in.
Luis.
Rebel is in.
Are they all starting to flow in now?
Sean is in.
Sean, show.
All right. I'll let the facts roll through. Last chance to get in. $1.
$1. Zach Martin, you in. Jamari Murray, you also in. All right, y'all. I think we're good. We got everyone?
I think
we're good. Let's go.
All right. 1 shuffle, 2 shuffle, 3 shuffle.
1 shuffle, 1 shuffle.
1 more.
And then Noah Santana also in. Wait.
Killer Cruisin's in.
The Cruisin'. Wait. Gilbert says, I want to get in. Wait. I think Crash Dog was already in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gunny, wake up. Gunny. He just realized how to use that emoji, so he just wanted to show us. He was just proud of the moment.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Let me shuffle it up. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. This one's your favorite.
It is my favorite. And you know why it's my favorite?
Because they change colors.
When you see Ed Robbins has got good stroke. Ed Robbins got a good stroke game in there. John, sorry, you're a little late. Heather, I feel like I can't say the same thing there. Delgado in the back there a little bit. I'll tell you what, aggressive Master Raider, he looks sick. He looks ill.
Oh, my God.
Like, actually, he looks like he has jaundice. He does not look good. David Zahn looks like he's been rowing a lot of boats by himself in his day. Zahn, I'm like, Zahn, what are you doing tonight? He's like, I'm rowing the boat. Both sides. Gilbert Moreno's in an interesting spot. Who's that? Evil Mitch? Honestly, Evil Mitch is kind of freaking me out here a little bit. Is that Carter? 6 seconds to go. Luis Rod. I have no idea. Legitimately don't know. Cameron. Mr. Cameron Sproul. Cam, if you could message me on here or send me $1 on Venmo, Mitchell Renz 365, and tell me what jersey you want.
This has to be one of the closest races we've ever done.
I mean,
who do you think got in second?
Based off of this?
I think Randall?
Randall Carter?
Nope.
Killa? I don't even see. Oh, yeah, Killa's right there. Dude, that's a close race. Who got the butthole pick?
Gilbert.
Gilbert. Agent Zero, they call him for that reason.
John, sorry. Right as we were going, too late.
Lord Buddy Bear. Chugs, did Coop talk to you?
Nope.
Why are we talking about next year's draft quarterbacks? Did we give up on AOC already? Did I miss your thoughts on Quinn Ewers?
What is this? What is this?
From Buddy Bear.
Chugs, did Coop talk to you? LOL. Why are we talking about next
If I had to guess, it's how he ends the question.
I missed your thoughts on. No, he told me to talk to Chugs about something during the Mavs stream.
Oh. Boo.
I'm sorry, Buddy Bear.
Chances were Coop was a little litty, especially if they were losing.
Oh, I was hot.
Yeah, you were.
He was a steamy
Join the
meatball.
stream tonight, Buddy Bear. We'll be there.
Well, you remember.
Another game, Mavs and Stars, same time.
I know. It's
Brutal.
bullshit.
Who won that last race?
Damn, brutal.
Who won that last race?
Cameron Sprout.
Cameron.
Which loss was worse for you? The Mavs
Stars,
or the
and it's
Stars?
not close.
Yeah, Stars blew a 3-goal.
It's got to be, dude.
Yeah.
3. That's like blowing a 20-point lead in the NBA
I feel
playoffs.
like no. I feel like in hockey though, I feel like that happens quite a bit, especially if it's first period.
No.
Not
3-goal lead?
Dude, I feel like I've seen.
That's
it
like honestly,
before.
that's like blowing a 30-point lead in the NBA.
No.
Yes.
It's like blowing a 20-point lead going into the fourth.
No, that's like blowing a 20-point lead at halftime.
No.
You're in
The
the
amount
you
of-
have
the amount
two
of-
more periods to play.
Bro, I bet you this. I bet you there are 10 times the amount of teams coming back from 20 than 3 goals.
Absolutely.
Especially playoff hockey.
Oh, Lord Buddy Bear wanted you to ask me how the Rockets are doing in the playoffs.
I forgot. He did. I told him.
Well, yeah, now I know. You just said that.
I did tell you can attest that I give you shit about the Rockets and the Astros all the time.
Yes.
Nah, man, why did you send me $3? I don't even understand. I don't know. He just said Jersey. Nah, man, we already ran the race, man. Shout out to Lord Buddy Bear for being a legend.
And doesn't Avman have a
Jersey
Jersey?
already?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's coming.
We're almost there, man. We almost got it. I just got the, like I said, the long Zon, the long Ron, and the Husker jersey,
Nice.
which we gave those to Graf, so I put those on priority. So, yeah. All right, that means we got one more race to do today.
Last chance.
Last chance for you to get in. $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Which I'm going to look right now. I think we got everybody in here, Chugs. I'm going to send you the list of names. Who's the first game tonight?
It's the beautiful Allie Barefoot and our Celtics.
Really?
Yeah. So
Allie No Shoes.
I mean, we said it last time, and it was a great time. Allie, tell them one more time where they can find you later on.
That was a lot.
Oh my God, stop. I will be live on Celtics Today by Chat Sports, constantly shitting on Marshall Green, dunking on Smitty,
Will you poop on me?
People will do
and I'm afraid to say anything else. But no, Celtics
First
Today
comment
by Chat
is,
Sports.
how much for you to shit on Marshall?
It is a metaphor, people.
But no, yeah,
No.
they party over there. Go check them out. After our live, their live's going to begin probably in like 30 minutes after we go off.
6:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah, so in like 40 minutes.
That
Yes.
man said, I'm slacking? I don't know.
Ron Raspberry says, we'll see you tonight, Allie. We'll see you, Ron Raspberry. Very excited.
Ron shaved his head yesterday.
Pop off, King.
Shaved his entire head.
Pop off, King.
Oh, my finger hurts. My fingers hurt. Oh, yeah? Now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. I don't really know why I'm slacking here, Nav, man.
Well, it's because he said he sent it to you before the race.
That's just... What time did we run the race? I'm not going to lie. It's close.
We ran the race 7 minutes ago, so 4:42.
That's what I mean. This says 4:42. He sent it.
Oh, so exactly when the race was starting.
Dude, I don't know, Nav, man. I don't know, man. Jamari said, Mitch, give me another name. Jamari, I got you. So that means right now we got a $20 Venmo for a chance to win 180.
I was just about to ask you to send me the names.
So right now, $20 Venmo for a chance to win $180 here on the Raiders Report. Good luck. Good luck to all of y'all.
Dude, that
Rebel said give it to Chuck. Chuck's been
that last race was probably the closest race we've ever had.
honestly, I actually don't know the last time I didn't know who won. They didn't know who won. I actually think it was the first time that no canoe just kept going. They were like, all right, we're done. We're done here.
You're done.
You done. You done.
You need to leave.
You done. Let's get the horses going here. Let's get the horses rolling here.
All right. Here we go. Yes, Robert, I did get your IG.
You want to send that to me?
Yeah.
Send it to me when you get a chance. All right, winner of this one is going to get $180 here on the Raiders Report. Let's get this thing going in 3, 2, 1, run it. Noah, Anthony Green. I will say the odds-on favorite is Anthony Green. This one goes out to the nation. I did 1 boot, and I've had 1 happy dad today. It's not bad for a Thursday.
Not bad.
Not bad for a Thursday.
Not bad. Is it going to rain?
Dude, it has rained 4 out of the last 6 days. And it has been torrential
pissed.
downpour.
I'm a little pissed.
Downpour.
I was looking forward to me and Sadie's post-work walk.
It's brutal.
I'm a little upset.
Crash Dog with a little bit of a lead.
Coming down the main stretch. Crash Dog in the lead.
Jamari
Murray right behind him. Preakness coming from the back. Anthony Green. Could it be Luis Rod? Could it be Luis Rod? No. Timmy Jones.
Timmy Jones! Hit the nos! Hit the nos, Timmy Jones.
This is my favorite race because of what the winner does after the race. Like, they're all running full speed, and he's just, like, prancing in front of them.
Timmy Jones. So, last time Timmy won was on April 11th. And he has raced now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. This is going to be his 2nd win.
Randall.
That's pretty damn good.
Congrats, Randall.
4.
Butthole.
Mr. Timmy Jones, if you can please confirm with me and the entire chat down below that you just received $180. Much obliged. What?
Rebel said we need a drug test.
I'll tell you what right now.
Timmy Jones came from nowhere.
Imagine you're watching the Kentucky Derby.
And whoever's in last place down the main stretch just
it just shoots ahead. You're like, wait a minute here. I don't know how realistic that one is. Timmy Jones says, got it. Love it. Got it. Love it. Awesome stuff. Well, I say this. I say we,
That's all she wrote.
Is that all she wrote?
What?
Tomorrow, happy hour.
Happy hour tomorrow. And like we said, our Celtics stream has been going crazy the past week.
Dude, they have been.
And me and Mitch, we still have a little bit of work to do, so you might see us over there on the Celtics streams. They have some pretty good deals going on over there. Ask Navman. Ask Ed Robbins.
Scheffler messaged me the other day. He goes, the deal's on Celtics, LOL.
Type me if you're trying to party with Celtics later on today. In 30 minutes, type me down in the chat if you're trying to party with Celtics later on today.
I actually want to read the exact message from Navman.
Allie, will you send me the stream? I'm going to pepper it in the chat real quick.
What did he even say? He goes, what a deal for a 4-way boot race. Ha, 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 ha. That is the exact message I got from Scheffler the other day.
All right, here we go. It's in the chat right now if you want to check out our Celtics stream going on later today. And then even after that, Chat Sports, we're taking over all sporting events worldwide. After that, we have a stream going on for the Mavericks up against the Thunder later on tonight, the nightcap game.
Well, nightcap. Little caparoo.
Honestly, I think we could make that game if we started driving right now to go see it.
Where?
Oklahoma City. 3 hours away. Game starts at 8:45.
We probably could make it.
If we left right now.
I'll tell you what, though, with all the traffic and the potential rain, we'd have to hustle. We'd have to hustle.
There'd be no going home either. It'd be straight from here.
So DK said she would handle all of our post-prod, so we might be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yep, that'd be good. All right, y'all, we're going to get on out of here. We'll see you tomorrow here live on Zero It Is Report for a little Friday happy hour. Seriously, though, Zon, you're a maniac. Shout out to Ed Robbins for being a real one. Also, shout out to Jose Delgado for just kind of getting that whole shit show started. Bunch of crazy, crazy people. Zon, I'm going to wear your jersey tomorrow, and then I'm going to wear your special jersey for Ron as well. Also, Husker, I'm going to rock yours tomorrow. So, from me, from Jeremy Chuggs, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Raiders Friday Happy Hour, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a good night.